It ain't.
Okay, I'm waiting for the notification. And we are live. I want to thank everyone for tuning in to a very special edition of The People's Path, a great couple that I look forward to, and we look forward to hearing you all's love story and your journey to becoming, married and having two beautiful children. First of all, assalamu alaikum.
Like salam.
Okay. First of all, this is Brother Rabb and Sister Aeisha. For those who don't know, from Sister Aisha's from Los Angeles and Brother Rabb is from New Jersey. The first question we want to know, my sister says, both of my sisters say something like Naima and Miriam.
Like salam.
The first thing we want to know is who chose on who first? Who made the first move?
90 days.
I think I chose first. I definitely think I chose first. I think 2011 drill competition. I think that was the first time we kind of met eyes, so I was the one choosing on that.
Okay, yeah. So, like Sister Tracy and Sister Aeisha, what made you accept Brother Rabb's showing interest in you?
I mean, of course, the first thing you see is how they look. So I was like, okay, he was a good looking brother. So that helped to open the door. But after that, he was just really nice. He was sweet. He was a Muslim. At home and abroad, sometimes we switch up depending on where we at. But he seemed to be who he said he was, and I really liked that. And so yeah, I just was. Yeah, that's what happened.
Okay, and Brother Rabb, where was you all's first date?
Oh man, I don't think maybe we went to like an IHOP or something. Wasn't nothing extravagant at all. We was kind of young, broke, so.
And Sister Aeisha, what was it like because you were long distance? How did that affect the relationship?
It was pretty regular. We talked a lot, which I love. We talked more than anything because you long distance, and so all you got is a phone. And so it was pretty regular. We just talked a lot and saw each other at Savior's Day, and it just kind of allowed us to get to know each other really well.
Okay, beautiful. Sister Shantae, alaikum salam, and Sister Tracy says you all are adorable. Okay, Brother Rabb, how did your parents feel about accepting Sister Aeisha into your family?
Oh, they was open, and I don't know if they just trusted me to make the right decisions or. But once they met Aeisha, it's hard not to like her once you meet her. So
very true.
It livens up the room. So.
And I knew his sisters first, so I think that was I didn't even know they had a brother originally. I knew his sister Wakila, and then I met his other sisters at the Vanguard retreat earlier before I had even started talking to Rabb. So I think that made it a little bit easier because I already knew them.
Yeah, so it worked out. They loved her. There was never any animosity. Thank Allah. No.
Okay. Beautiful. And Sister Aeisha, how did you got strong brothers, parents?
Yeah.
How did your family accept Brother Rabb?
They really liked Rabb. My sister loves Rabb. I swear this is her brother. You can't tell her nothing. My mom, she really loves Rabb. My brothers, they came and looked at him with a different type of eye than we did because they're men. They're my protectors. So I think that after speaking to him and just kind of getting to know him, they love him. They never gave me no problems.
I actually, just like she knew my sisters first, I met her brothers, Marquise and Rasan, before I even knew who Aeisha was. And I had met them. They came to New Jersey on a detail when a minister came to New Jersey one time. And we was all just kicking it, me, her brothers, Tariq, some of the brothers from New York. We all just was kicking it, and I met them then, Fahim as well. And so when we started talking, I was like, man, those are your brothers. And then, it was different now going back and meeting them again after me and Aeisha started talking, because then it was a different kind of conversation. They had to kind of fill me out, but it was love. They really received me very well. Of course, they had to sift and make sure that, that I was a good person, but they really received me well, and there's a lot of love between me and all of her brothers.
Praise be to Allah.
Throw that in there.
Sister Tracy says, Brother Rob, she can't hear you a little bit. She's just having trouble hearing you a little bit. Yes, ma'am. So Tracy, we're gonna work on that. Okay. My next question is, how did you propose, Brother Rob?
Man, the proposal was crazy, Josh. It was a blessing. So once I knew that I was gonna propose, I got the ring and everything. I called Aeisha. I think I was working with Aeisha because she was in LA. I was in New Jersey. So I had to coordinate with Aisha's sister Aeisha to kind of get everything done behind the scenes. So I got a flight. I don't know why, but I had to be in and out for whatever reason. I think it was I couldn't take off of work or something. So I literally flew into LA like Saturday morning and may have flew out Sunday.
Yeah.
And that 6-hour flight is hard. So I flew into LA, and we had set up like this boat ride where a lot of the believers, all of her friends, everybody was going to be on a boat ride. And so to her, she just was going on this nice boat ride.
Yeah.
So they told her, like, make sure you do your hair.
Yeah.
They made sure everything was straight on that end. And when I landed, I think I was with Mike the whole day. Aeisha's husband, Michael Amir. I was with him, I think, the whole day. And they just was kind of putting everything together. So I made sure I got like some flowers and stuff. And when it was time to get on the boat, I went in early on the boat, and I was up in like the captain's little area, and I had to duck down so they wouldn't see me when they was coming on the boat. So then, she came on the boat, everybody went on the boat.
I was trying to go upstairs. I wanted to see the boat. I'm like, what's up here? And they was like, no, get over here. You go get in trouble. I'm like, I want to see.
Yeah. I'm trying not to be seen or whatever. But eventually, after the boat was already in the water, I came down the stairs. And when I came down the stairs and turned the corner, I had the flowers in my hand. I had the ring and everything. And as soon as she seen me, she knew what it was, because I wasn't supposed to be in LA.
Yeah, like, what are you doing here?
I think she already knew what it was. So when I came up, everybody just started screaming. The cameras were recording. So I don't even think she was able to hear me with the words I said. And I don't even know what I said, actually. I just remember I said, something. Then I got down on one knee. And she just, she was covering her mouth. And, she said yes. And I think afterwards, it was crazy. Afterwards, it was like some fireworks. I don't even know where the fireworks came from. I don't know, exactly who coordinated it, whatever. But while we were on the boat after the proposal, there was just some fireworks going off, and it was just a blessing. It ended up really working really well. Everything worked out. Praise be to Allah.
Praise be to Allah. Okay, beautiful. And I'm glad that and you all recorded that.
Yeah, a lot of it got recorded.
Jahad recorded it.
Got recorded. I never seen the whole footage.
Me neither.
Actually, when we did the interview on NFA for Love and Black, we were talking about the proposal on there. And when we went to watch the episode, there was some footage from it on the episode. So I think Mike had got the footage, but I had never seen the footage.
Yeah.
I'm like, man, it was good to see. But to this day, I don't think I've seen the footage, but it was recorded. And I had a few pictures from it, but we do got footage somewhere.
Praise be to Allah. Okay, beautiful. My next question for you, Sister Aeisha, is what has been your greatest trial, and how have you overcome that in marriage?
My greatest trial in marriage. Okay, because I usually group my marriage and motherhood, but I'm gonna try to separate motherhood and put that in.
You can do both.
Well, I think my greatest trial in marriage has been living in New Jersey, being married. I think just being away, from my family and things like that, it makes it hard. It just made it difficult. So I think I'm still learning and overcoming this trial, but it has gotten easier. I will say that. But just to be, you know, young and to have grown up in one place pretty much your entire life, and then you move, and it's like with everything that's happening here, every happy moment is also a little sad because you're sharing it with half the people that you love, you know. So I think that just overall, I think that has been one of the biggest trials, because we pretty good. Like he haven't done nothing to make, you know, marriage harder for me at all.
That
So
was definitely a big trial. And I remember right after we got married, we went on a honeymoon to Cancun. And right after we got back from Cancun, we didn't, you know, we left, literally, we went from wedding, we got on the plane, went to Cancun, and then we went from Cancun to our place in New Jersey. So when we got to the place in New Jersey, I had coordinated with my mother to just kind of put, you know, do a little something at the house as soon as we got there. When we walked in, to just kind of celebrate and welcome Aeisha to New Jersey. And, you know, she was happy and everything. It may have been like that night or the next day.
It was that same night. Everybody left.
And started crying. I'm like, what's going on? She was like, she realized at that moment.
Yeah, like I ain't going home.
This was home.
Yeah.
And then it was like, you know, she didn't recognize the house. I was already living on my own for a period of time, so the house was my place. Was,
yeah, I'm like, can I use your bathroom, sir? Like, where's everything?
Where's the foil? You know, so it was like that weird thing that we had to overcome in the beginning. And I just was like, man, you know, here, take some. We had a gift cards from the wedding. I'm like, just go buy stuff, make it your home, you know, go buy some stuff. And she went and she just got some things that just made it feel like it was hers. And over time, and we, like she said, you know, it's still a trial, but over time, she was able to be more and more comfortable. But that definitely early on, that was a big trial for us.
Praise be to Allah. Sister Veronica, Rich Before 50 says, "Oh, we love you." Sister Valerie says, ASA, my family. My sister says, "Praise be to Allah." Sister Ariane says, "Assalamu alaikum, family." My brother Rashad said, "This is the most he's ever seen Rob talk." So, you know,
Rashad,
okay. So my next question is, what has been your greatest trial for you, Brother Rob, and how have you overcome it?
Man, I'm gonna say the biggest trial for me has just been trying to find that balance. You know, I've been a lieutenant since I was 18, and I've been in the mosque heavy since I recited, and I'm always used to being a part of every detail. You know, being out in the field. You know, every day at one point in time before I got married, just out in the field, and you know, that's how I know, and still to this day, that's how I know to get my blessings from Allah. It's by putting in that work, being out in the field, but finding that balance and understanding, like the minister said, you know, we have a mission, but we also married a woman. You know, I also have children. So I had to find that balance of making sure that I help, you know, because it's a lot to work for 8 hours and then come home, eat, and then have to shoot back out. And then my wife is at the house all day and you know, with the children. So finding that balance, and it's still a struggle finding that balance. And that's been one of the biggest trials ongoing that I just pray to Allah and that I'm working at making sure that I maintain that balance.
The quarantine helped. Yeah, you ain't going nowhere.
I don't think I've ever been home this much because
never.
Work and mosque, it's always something that's going on. So the quarantine just allowed us to kind of just, you know, stand back for a minute and make a lot of center and pray and study and just get tighter and closer knit as a family. So I thank Allah for that much, but definitely the balance is definitely been the hardest trial.
Yes, sir. Praise be to Allah. Sister Aeisha, what has been your greatest joy in marriage and motherhood?
Oh, that's hard. There's a lot of joys. It's more joy than anything else. My greatest joy, I don't, that's hard. I don't know. I think my greatest joy just comes from, I guess, feeling like I made the right choices. Like, I really do love my life. I love my husband. I love my children. And I just enjoy like waking up every day to them and to that, you know, like, and it makes the trials easier. It just makes everything a little bit easier, just knowing like, you know, you may go through something, but you on the right path, you around the right people, you doing the right thing. And my greatest joy is just, I don't know, my family.
Okay, beautiful. And Brother Rob, your greatest joy is, sir?
Me.
I think it's definitely just seeing my wife, seeing my daughters happy, not stressing. That's what pushes me to get up and do what I do and work and grind. Every time I do something that I know is going to bring us blessings in the bank of Allah, I do it for my family. And so, just having a peace, when I come into my home, just having a beautiful wife, a wonderful wife, who just helps me to be a man, to be the man that I am. I've been blessed for 2 years now to eat every other day. And I've been able to do that because I don't have to worry about getting a good meal. My wife, she takes care of me. She's like, "What you want to eat?" And I'm like, "Man, So it's that extra. She's just the backbone, and just having that peace, coming home, having a happy family, it's rewarding, and that's really the biggest and the best reward that I can ask for. Is having peace in my home. The minister talks about how the earth has a wobble in its rotation.
Yes,
And
sir.
going back to the balance, everything is not going to always be right. Sometimes money is low, and we done been through so many times where money is low, but Allah always blesses us because we put him first and we try to keep him first. And so whenever there's that wobble in our lives, we don't feel it as much. We're still smiling,
Yeah.
and no one would know that we were
I was raised with low money.
Yeah, no one would know that,
Right.
Allah's blessing us. We pray, and he blesses us to get through it. And I remember one time we was really going through it, money wise, and I just remember Brother Majid, the regional captain, he had showed me a couple years prior how to make bow ties, and man, money was low, and I said, man, I gotta go back in my memory and remember how to make them bow ties. And we just started making the bow ties. And, Aeisha, she helped me make the bow ties. And, she was cutting up the fabric and, picking out stuff and putting the clips in. And we just started making bow ties. And Allah blessed us to be able to really, put money in our pockets and bless us to really feed our family based on the bow ties. So Allah has always been there every step of the way to help us wherever we fall short. But the most rewarding thing is just being able to see my family happy.
Praise be to Allah. Okay, beautiful. And I see everybody's comments. My sister Val saying praise be to Allah. Sister Tracy saying alhamdulillah. A sister named Sadia saying you better teach Rabb. And all praises to Allah.
Sadia.
Thank you all very much for continuing to watch the People's Podcast. My next question for you, Sister Aeisha, is how did childbirth affect the relationship?
Oh my God, it was terrible. No, no, having children for real, it changes it. How did it affect our relationship? It was a trial, but it's a beautiful trial. I think it just, as a woman, it changes you a lot. The sacrifice is just like, it's constantly pulling on you. And I think that affects a marriage a lot. And so I just know when I had my first child, thank Allah, I had a lot of help. My mom came, my sister came, they stayed, seemed like forever, but as long as I needed them to stay. And that kind of helped me in the beginning. But it's just, motherhood is it's just real. And it causes you to just pray a lot more. And just in our relationship, it made us communicate more, because I needed him to understand what I was going through while I'm trying to understand what I'm going through, because this is my first time going through it the first time. But this second time around, it seems like it's been a lot more smooth. But yeah, it really pulled on our relationship. But as long as we was communicating and, we got through it.
Praise be to Allah. Okay. Well, Rob, specifically the actual event of her having children, were you present in the room, and how did that affect you as a man?
Oh man, I was definitely present in the room for both. The first time it was a lot easier because Sister Val was there, mother was there, Yana was there. I think Jalila came.
Jalila came that day, but she missed the actual birth.
Missed the actual birth. But we had a lot of help around us. And the scariest thing for me was we wanted to do a natural birth, and we had to kind of time when we were going to the hospital. So the most nerve-wracking thing for me was like, man, we had a 30-minute drive to the hospital from our house, and I just remember like thinking like, man, I don't know. But having Sister Val there, having Ayana there, it eased my heart a little bit. It eased my mind. So I knew at the end of the day, I could always kind of like lean on them. Like, all right, so is this how it's supposed to be? Is this what a contraction is? Should we go now? And so Allah blessed us, and they were there, and they were able to kind of coach her through it as well. And the experience was smooth. We drove, we got there. I mean, she was in pain. Don't get me wrong. It was crazy, but
the girl was dying.
It was smooth. We got there and pulled up to the hospital. They came with a little wheelchair, and when we got there, she was just at a point where they were like, "Okay, she's ready to go." So when we got there, pulled up, they brought us up there, and then put us right into the room. And we got there. I think it was maybe like 1:36 in the afternoon, and then by like 2:00, the baby was born. You know? So it was only 30 minutes that we were actually in the hospital. So that was a blessing, and natural birth by the grace of Allah. I stood right at the head, and you gotta be careful where you stand. I wasn't, and I think it was like a birthing class that we did, and the nurse who did the birthing class was like, "Look, as a man, you want to stand right where the head is." So I think somebody else was down there. It wasn't me. I think Ayana and her mother was there, but I was right here at the head just coaching, like, all right, come on, you right there. Keep on going, keep on going.
You don't know, shut up.
And just trying to be supportive and everything.
He had my back.
It's overwhelming because, I was laughing at my brother-in-law, Khalif, because I think when he had his first child, his daughter, Kaila, it was like, yeah, he cried. Well, he told me he cried, or Nifa told me he cried. Somebody told me he cried. I'm like, hey, he cried. He cried. He was like, yo, man, it get real. So I'm like, so I'm in there as soon as, it's an emotional roller coaster. You don't know. It's so, the line between life and death becomes so thin. And so it's so much that you're dealing with. And then the moment that the baby came out, and they put the baby on my wife, and they're like, yo, you want to cut the bill? And I'm just like, whoa, like, this is crazy. And I'm looking at a baby, I'm looking at a human being that just, that we have been talking to in the belly. So it was like all this stuff at once came at me. And my eyes just got real teary. And I was like, nah, they ain't gonna catch me. Right there, and I was like, y'all ain't gonna hold the baby real quick. Y'all hold the baby real quick. So she held the baby. I went right in the bathroom, just kind of got myself together real quick. Like, hold up.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Came back out, but it was a beautiful experience. And, I think a lot much.
Okay, beautiful. And my sister Val says, beautiful. Sister Ariane says, it gets real out here in these mommy streets. You got this, sis. Sister Veronica says, Sister Miriam, beautiful love story. Sister Tracy, beautiful testimony. And then people are laughing at your crying, Brother Rob, or not crying. You're almost crying.
The world would never know.
Yes, sir. My question for you, Sister Aeisha, is what do you do for fun? What do you do for fun?
Well, with this quarantine, I'm just on Instagram all day. That's not fun anymore because the enemy is killing us and we gotta fight back. But no, for fun, that is I don't know. I find joy in a lot of things. I don't know. I don't know.
It's like one of the most easiest, difficult questions.
It is easy, but it's difficult. Let me see. I like to drill. Josh, drill master. I like to drill. I like for fun. I like to hang out with my family, my in-laws. I like to skate. These are things I like to travel. I was supposed to go to LA in April, but the world shut down, so now we kind of stuck. But yeah, but I find joy in many things. I can it's a nice day outside and I go out there and sit outside, and that's great for me.
Praise be to Allah. Brother Rob, what do you do for fun?
Man,
Oh, he knows how to do a Rubik's Cube. He taught himself that, so that he'll do that for fun.
Okay. That's like a quarantine hobby, but
He's down to under 2 minutes.
Man, it may sound crazy, but I actually enjoy reading. And I remember growing up, I used to watch my father read all the time. And I would just think, every night before he went to sleep, he would be reading. I used to just look like, man, why is he reading? Like, what's so fun about reading? But I really enjoy reading. That's something that I do in my spare time that, anybody got to ask me to do. I'll just pick up a book and just lay down and read and acquire knowledge. I like doing that. I work out. I like to. I'm not very good at it, but I like to play basketball.
Okay.
I'm not like real good, but I like to get out there and play ball. So I'm not AI out there. I'm more like a role player. So, but I enjoy playing ball and getting out, working out. So it's just some of the things I like to do, and I like to soldier, man. I like to be out in the field with the brothers.
Praise be to Allah. Beautiful. Sister Tracy said, "The tears are showers for the soul. Let them tears flow." That's right, Sister Tracy. We being too much toxic masculinity around here. You know what I'm saying? Yes,
masculinity, right?
Yeah. Sister Aeisha, what advice would you give to future wives?
Ooh, choose wisely. To future wives, I would just say, man, I would say don't underestimate the power of prayer. I think that, we've turned it into like this cliche thing when you tell somebody like, oh, you got to seek refuge in Allah, and that advice ain't sufficient for us. It's like, you want this specific, advice, but it's enough. And it's been enough for me. And literally when nobody got the answers, like every relationship is so unique that nobody may be going through exactly what I'm going through. And so all I can do is rely on Allah and talk to him. And I think that, I'm not going to underestimate that advice. Like that is enough. And if you just seek assistance through patience and prayer, you'll get what you need. So that's honestly the best advice that I can think. I can tell you, to have a cooking schedule, know what you're gonna make beforehand, and you can say little things like that, but you can do all of that and this man go out and cheat on you, or not necessarily that, but it can still go south.
Yes,
so
ma'am.
At the end of the day, you just gotta plug in and you gotta make sure that you prayed up, and you gotta try to make sure that you're in Allah's favor, because that's the only thing that's going to be successful. That's the only thing that's going to make you and your relationship successful. But it would be nice to have a meal schedule and be prepared, go grocery shopping for the week, and don't have to run back and forth, those types of things. Get in good with the in-laws, make sure that he's in good with your family, because that type of drama just will weigh on everything. So I think a lot of our families are tight. And oh my God, I don't know if this is a risky thing to say, but if you're a Muslim, marry a Muslim. That is a big deal. And I think it cut out a lot of, like, we don't have to, my children don't gotta go to, their grandma's house for Christmas and we not there because they celebrating it over there. I just feel like marry somebody who's your faith and your flavor. Like Minister Nuri said, this dude is my faith, he's my flavor, and it's working out, So it's not enough to just be Muslim. Make sure they're your type of people, and and I just think that, but make Allah sufficient first and foremost.
Beautiful. Praise be to Allah. My sister Miriam says yes, ma'am. Jalila says speak facts. Isha says, Tracy says great advice. Yes. Mary, yes. Praise be to Allah. Teach the babies. Okay, beautiful. Brother Rob, what advice would you give your husbands?
Man, settle down with a good choice, and just be right. Make your word bond. When we go before the community of believers and say our vows before the community of believers and say our vows before Allah. We got to mean it, you know. And a brother told me once when I was 16, I was talking to him, brother Derek, he's in Philly now, but his word stuck with me. And he said, man, you just can't go into marriage with a plan B. And a lot of times we think, oh, you know, if it don't work, nah, it got to work out, you know, and we got to enter into marriage knowing that this is a lifetime commitment. And we just got to be right, man. A lot of times when the marriages fail, it's on the part of the man. You know, we're the maintainers.
You said that part
it
again.
May not be, I don't know if it I don't know if it's every time, but for the most part, you know, the men we maintain. You know, we maintain. So if there's an energy in my house, I'm responsible for that energy, good or bad. And I'm responsible to make sure that if it's bad, that the energy is brought up to a higher level. You know, so we have to maintain. And you know, men just be right. You know, choose a good woman, a good MGT, because a lot of times we go looking somewhere else, and then when there's a conflict, because you wanted to marry the Christian sister, and I'm not saying that it can't work out because you know
we gonna get blazed in the comments. They're gonna be like, don't come for us.
Might be making some issues down the line that y'all are gonna have to work through, where you wouldn't necessarily have to work through those issues if you married someone who was a believer. You know, when we talk and we bring up the minister and say, well, the minister said this, then it's no debating what the minister said. It's not no, oh man, I don't care about that for our constant. So if you got those kind of problems in your life, those are some serious problems to have. That you don't necessarily have to have when you marry a believing woman. So definitely get settled down with a good choice, mighty MGT, and you know, ask good questions, and when you court, ask the right questions, you know, to make sure that y'all are on the same page. You know, some women don't like to cook, some women don't like to clean, you know, so it's good to talk and find out. You know, in different areas breed different types of women. A sister that's on the West Coast may be different than a sister that's on the East Coast, and a sister that's in the South, or a sister that's in the Midwest. You know, so you got to ask the right questions, and don't go into a relationship with expectations that you all haven't discussed on how you plan on raising your children. And these are real questions. You know, whether or not you want to put your children in the MUI, or whether you want to put them in a random charter school that just got good ratings. You know, these are
because I wasn't always opposed to public school. I was raised by public school and thought I came out pretty good.
So it's about just discussing those things. So my advice would just be to ask the right questions, settle down with a good choice, and make your word bond. And do not break that tie. Once you marry a woman, don't break that tie. Don't break that trust. Don't, you know, the Quran says, go not near fornication. And the reason why it says go not near as opposed to don't fornicate is because sometimes we put ourselves in situations where we will be overcome by nature. And it's like, you know, we know better. So don't even put yourself in a situation where the thirsty sister and you is in the same
thirsty sister
by yourself. You know, so it's like, you know, just doing the right thing. You know, like I tell people all the time, I don't double tap selfies. I don't like sister selfies on social media. You know, I try not to even, you know, talk to the sisters like that just freely, you know, because I got respect for myself. I have respect for my wife. So I don't, you know, it don't matter how nice you look at the picture. I'm not going to double tap a selfie of you because I don't know, you know that just might send the wrong message. So I'm striving to the best of my abilities to go not near in those types of ways, to go not near breaking the law and breaking the trust that I have between me and my wife, because it's not worth it.
Right.
You know, it's not worth it down the line. You know, my children having to be raised in a separate home than the home that I'm in. I like to come home and my daughters run into the house, Daddy, and they come and grab my leg. And, you know, that stuff, it brings me joy. So yes, I want to keep my home happy, and I don't want my wife feeling insecure because she thinks I'm looking somewhere else or looking left or looking right. I don't have eyes for nobody else, no other woman, you know. And so when we get married, we just got to understand, like, man, we got to do all that we can to keep our word to the woman that we marry. So that would be the advice I was giving. I'm sorry, it was a little lengthy.
No. Brother Rob just killed everybody who was single. See, y'all niggas out there, you look double tapping on them likes. People taking them selfies and stuff. So that's a good teacher, bro.
But sometimes that's where it starts. Like,
you drop
seed, you make them feel like he interested, and
you double tap it one day, and then you see it in person. It's like, oh,
that's the brother who be liking my pictures.
Yeah.
Like,
you choosing on somebody else.
Beautiful. That's why I only like my wife Beyonce's pictures on Instagram. Everybody else, I'm not liking y'all pictures.
That's right.
Sister Aeisha, what advice would you give to future mothers?
Future mothers.
Let me just say, I'm glad you're asking her first.
I know you get to think and give all these examples. You set me up, okay, Josh? You set me up. No, but my advice to future mothers would be just take your time and just know that everything's gonna be okay. I think, really, because with children, it's just like you said, even in the delivery room, it's so many things that could go wrong, and I just feel like just try to relax, talk to people, get advice, and just do the best you can. I mean, I be looking at other people's children and they children doing something that my child's not doing, then it's, it starts to make you feel some kind of way, or but it's like, look, I'm the mom I am, I'm doing the best that I can, and that's enough. And so I would just say, the mothers, just seek refuge in Allah and do your best, and that's pretty much it. I don't know, I need time to think.
I didn't mean to catch you off guard today. Okay, brother Rob, what advice would you give to future husbands? Future fathers.
Future fathers.
Yeah, I think that, I wish I knew the quote off the top of my head, but something about children. I think Brother Nuri said it one time, they only know time or something like that, time. And, just spending that time with your children, and the things that may not necessarily seem important right now mean a lot to a child, when they're growing up. So, our children are still young, so there's a lot of things that, we haven't experienced.
Yeah.
But we just try to, spend that time. I try to, my daughter come and show me her drawing. I try to gas it up like it's Picasso. You chose the red for that. Nice. You put the blue little splash right there. So I just try to gas it up, and just build their confidence. I got 2 daughters, haven't had any boys yet. So I just try to build their confidence and just, be the Superman for them. My daughter want to put on a cape and fly. I try to hold her up, just fly around the room with her, just spend that time. And right now, that's the stage that they're in right now. I ain't got to give her a whole lot of advice because she's not really there, but just try to give her that time and be there and create those memories.
I got something. Okay, I got better advice.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. My advice would be to strive to be a good example. Because for me, my daughter does everything that I do, and she says everything that I say. And so it's made me very mindful of what I do, what I wear, sometimes like out the house. But it's made me very mindful of just how I am around her, because like I say what the heck a lot. Like I just, that's that what the heck, like, and that's just something, that's my go-to phrase. And I found my 3-year-old daughter, and she'll do something, she'll be like, what the heck? And I'm like, I don't say what the heck, what the heck? Like, no, wait, like, yes, you got that from me. So now I'm just starting to, kind of just try to do better and what she sees and what she hears from me, because it don't matter how many times I tell her not to do something or not to say something, she's looking at me and she's doing what I do. And she's copying everything that I do. And so I just have to make sure, like, look, if I don't want her doing it, or if I don't want her saying it, then I got to be mindful and I got to do better and, be a good example for her, because ultimately she's going to grow up and she's going to be whatever she's seen and whatever I've shaped her to be. And I want that, to be a MGT, a righteous Muslim, all that jazz.
Beautiful. Praise be to Allah. And Sister Tracy says, Brother Rob, are you talking about the quote that asks, how do you spell love? And it says Time.
Yeah, I think that's it right there.
Okay, excellent. Okay, my next
Go
question.
ahead, Sister Tracy.
Sister Tracy holding it
Yes.
Okay, my next question for you, Brother Rob.
Another quote later.
Yeah, Brother Rob, what advice would you give to single people in general?
You know, just somebody once told me, take your time to hurry up. And I think that that's a phrase that when you really think about it makes a lot of sense, because you don't want to necessarily move on somebody else's time frame. Because a lot of times there's some people that get married at 18, there's some people that get married at 19, some people get married at 50, 60. So you don't have to judge how you should be moving based on someone else. So you take your time and you make sure that you develop yourself, you get yourself together. And then, at the same time, understand that you don't have all the time in the world. So every step that you make should be an intentional step that you're making to get closer toward that goal. So, having those goals, I didn't always have goals, but when I knew, like, okay, this is what I want to do, then, I locked in. I said, I'm gonna start saving this amount of money. I'm gonna get my apartment. I have my car already. So, you just set your goals, and every day should be a day that you spend getting closer to that goal. So it's okay to not be ready yet, but it's not okay to not make steps to get ready, if that makes sense. So we're not always going to be up and ready to get married tomorrow or in the next month or 6 months. But it's no excuse not to be making those steps to better ourselves so that we can complete our faith. Because we really don't know who we are when we haven't been married yet. Because as a man, the woman is going to bring out of you things that you didn't know was in you. She's going to do it that quick comeback that you're gonna start, and it's like, man, where did this come from? I didn't know that I could even get this upset. I didn't know that I can get this frustrated. I didn't know that I would make these kind of excuses. I didn't, when you living with somebody then and trying to become one, and you see parts of yourself come out that you didn't know was there. So getting married should be a goal of every single believer, every single person in general should want to get married. It's a beautiful thing to go through life with someone. And have a life partner who you build with, building a family. It's not no lightweight thing. Just because a lot of people, we stumble upon it, doesn't make it lightweight. When you building a family, that's the biggest enterprise that you can build. That's the biggest investment that you can make. So
Yes,
when
sir.
you
Yes,
choose
sir.
your mate, you want to choose somebody who you got to look and say, what kind of children are we going to have? Don't just look and say, I want my baby to have wavy hair, so let me go get what. That's just the low end of it. The physical appearance of how your children gonna look. But when you choose your mate, you want to choose somebody that got a certain amount of drive, somebody that got certain characteristics. I knew I had to get a driller because I want my child at 4 years old to be drilling on the drill competition.
Yeah.
What's wrong with you?
You gotta figure out what you want in life, and then you go after that. But the point is, as a single person, we should be striving to get to the point, and understand that getting married is not the end all. It's staying married, it's staying through the process. The minister said that a man who will leave out of his marriage will leave out on God. Right. So that's how big being married is, and staying in a marriage. So it's something that all of us should aspire to do and try to get to as a single person.
Beautiful. Praise be to Allah. And thank you very much for your honesty and transparency, sir, as well as you, Sister Aeisha. Sister Jalila says, makes you the best version of yourself. Sister Tracy says, beautiful. Sister Veronica says, Rob, you had such beautiful examples in your parents. Sister Valerie says, such a beautiful couple. May Allah bless you with longevity, peace, and endurance. Thank you very much, Sister Valerie. Okay, Sister Aeisha, now you got the heads up. So what example would you give?
I got the heads up. I'm ready. I'm ready.
To single people.
To single, was it single sisters who?
No, single people in general.
Just single people in general.
Yes,
my advice to single people would be know what you don't want and stand true to that. I think that when you're getting married, you can be, or when you're single and you meet somebody, you can like them, but there may be things about them that you knew you didn't, you didn't want, but you may go through with it anyway, and it don't end up working because it's like, that I didn't listen to myself and my deal breakers. I call them deal breakers. And I just feel like, have those deal breakers and have those things that it's like, look, I don't want to be with a person who does this, or this. And if this is that type of person, then no matter how good he looks or no matter how deep you may be into it, if you know that that's not what you want, then don't go through with it. Don't feel the pressure. And so I just feel like for single people, you just got to be honest with yourself and, moving forward. And when you're looking for that mate, know the things that you don't want. And so you can, you can choose well. And I just feel like every brother is going to have something about him that you don't like. Like there are things about my husband that I don't like, but then it's not a deal breaker. Like I'm still going to be here. I'm still going to push through with him. And the minister said, I believe in make the law sufficient, that any man that you're with is going to have, and I'm not quoting, but he said, any man that you're with, there's going to be something wrong. So choose a man and stick with that man and help him get through, whatever it is that you all need to get through. And so I just feel like if you know that you're with a man who he doesn't have none of the deal breakers, you were willing in the beginning to go through these things with him, then push through, because you may leave him and go to another brother, and this brother gonna have problems too, and including maybe one of your deal breakers. So it's
Yes, ma'am.
just
Yes,
stick
ma'am.
with the one who you said you were gonna be with and push forward. So as a single person, or as a, not me, but just giving advice to anybody who's single, just know, like these are the things that I don't want. He don't fit none of those, like he's not any of those. So I'm willing to push forward with you, and let's make this promise to Allah and let's move forward. But I just think that's an important thing. If you know what just make sure that you know what you don't want, and they'll help you choose what you do want.
Okay. And on that note, that's beautiful. We got and you got a lot of comments, a lot of likes. Thank you all for your comments. I want to thank Brother Rob as well as Sister Aeisha for coming on the People's Podcast and sharing with us your beautiful.
Thank you.
You've given us some powerful inspiration as well as information today. We're gonna put it on YouTube. Please like, share, subscribe, and we're gonna continue to promote marriage, and happiness and relationships and all that beautiful stuff. Assalamu alaikum, family. Can you hear me?
Walaikum salam. Thank you for having us.
No problem.
Thank you.